Hello, my name is Jim Lee, and I'm so glad that you're joining us today. The title of this segment is Soul Sangha in a Time Between Worlds. Yes. Marvin Gaye had a song back in 1971. It was entitled, What's Going On? Now, that was more than 50 years ago, and I'm asking the question, and some of you may be asking the same question, what's going on? When we listen to or check out the information given to us in the media outlets, it seems like this present moment is real bad. And the future is even looking worse. It's like a disaster waiting to happen. It doesn't look like we're really going to make it. The world is getting more and more adversarial, confrontational. It seems like we have disregard for each other and the environment. What's going on? Some economists even predict that we are in a financial crisis getting ready to happen. In other words, a collapse is right on the horizon. And a survey that I read said 68% of Americans are worried about their financial future. And then a lot of people are just concerned about how they're going to handle retirement. In fact, one day in the past, it used to be, hey, how to keep up with the Joneses. Now it's just about how to keep up with the cost of living. This survey said from December of 2020 to December of 2021, inflation was at a staggering 7%. And some economists will say that's an understatement. And even last year, the Big Mac sandwich increased with the inflation, like over 7%. Like, no, not the Big Mac sandwich. That means everything is affected. Americans overall, feeling fatigued, find it difficult to concentrate or even to work. Some are having difficulty sleeping, and a quarter of the respondents in this survey said the stress is affecting their relationships. What's going on? Well, I was reading from this wonderful quote from Reverend Victoria, and I believe her last name is Lures, from the Church of the Wild, says this: the apocalyptic unveiling happening in our world right now makes it difficult even for those who have been sheltered and privileged to look away from the reality, both tragic and beautiful. Tragic, I'm just looking at this, it appears that things are getting worse and we're like headed off for a cliff. But there's something beautiful that's happening here. It appears that people are now starting to realize that we're really interconnected. The virus has shown us that. We are one with everything, one with the planet, the humans, the trees, the oceans, the deer, the viruses, the bees, and God. And Reverend Victoria says that the global shift necessary to actually survive the crisis, we have to have a deeper inner change. Everything is going to be dependent upon us changing. The key is, can we change? Can we actually make a deep inner change? Well, today let's take a look at one of the teachings of Jesus to point us in the direction. So not only is there a hope, but there's possibility. Not only is there a possibility, but I assert there's a new reality waiting to happen as we're caught in between these two worlds of devastation and a revelation of wholeness. And so in Matthew 5:13, Jesus says this, and he was talking to disciples. I'm saying he's talking to us too. You are the salt of the earth. Now, in this passage, Jesus is looking at it as his followers and saying, and equating them to salt. Now, salt back then was greatly valued. It was indispensable for the preservation of food and also to make it taste good and make it enjoyable. So a bag of salt was actually very precious. So to say you are the salt of the earth is a high status. And so what we say that we are followers of his teachings. So we look at the scripture as a metaphor for us today. First thing I want to say is, you and I, everyone here, we are the salt of the earth. And we are the ones that can bring flavor to life in order to preserve it and make it livable. With everything that's going on at this moment, gosh, we really need it in a big way. We all need to be the salt so that we can bring life and bring in what I would call heaven on earth and move away from this hell on earth. And what I'm talking about is one state of consciousness of despair and all of that and the perceptions and the interpretations of the world to another reality, another world that is high in value and that everyone, what I would call, can experience heaven on earth. So in this time between what I call two worlds, we're invited to a sacred view of reality. This time in between worlds is asking us to make a deep interchange, one from separation and division to one of wholeness and oneness, so we can preserve life and bring in vitality. Now, this wholeness that I'm talking about that comes about, that we need to take a look at in this sacred moment, I'm saying there is one principle here that we're holding to be true, and that there is only one presence and one power in the world and in this universe and in our life. And I'm going to say that it's God. But you can move the name out of God if that gives you a challenge, and you can say that this one presence of love, or this God goes by many different names. But this presence, I'm saying, is wholeness. And it's inviting us into a wholeness of love. Now, the potency of love, now that's the salt that's needed right now in between these two worlds. Now, we have no idea what this future world holds, but we do know who holds that future. So our task is to be this living salt so that we can see through the illusions of fear, see through lack and limitations, and in fact, bring a different world steeped in love into existence. Yes, love says that everything really is for you and I. It's for us. Nothing is against us, because nothing can stand up against love. So our spiritual practice is this, is to bring a loving consciousness to this moment and all the moments that we encounter. And we can then support the world into coming into a new existence. A new manifestation is ready to emerge. This is the time in between the worlds, and I'm calling it a woo moment. Woo moment. And that's WOO. It's a window of opportunity. That's what this time in between the worlds are. And what's really going on is we're developing a new capacity to see the truth that God is everywhere. Breathe this in. That's a major shift internally to see that God, goodness, love is everywhere. As we do, we're holding the frequency and the vibration of consciousness that is seeking to manifest itself through us. We are the salt of the earth. Now we can live in reactivity to all the stuff that's going on in the world that's traumatizing and that is really dramatic. And we can also feel that we're separate and that we need to fight against life. We can see this, I would say that most people see it, and this is a distorted view and a distorted perception. Or we can live in a woo moment and see each moment as an opportunity to meet life with love. So now I agree with Reverend Victoria that we need a deep interchange. And this is the time in between the worlds that we make this consciousness shift. Now I spent a few years with Marianne Williamson, and she says that a shift in consciousness is actually a miracle. Because as we shift the consciousness, we actually shift our reality. So I want us to begin shifting our consciousness. Look at this affirmation. Feel this affirmation. I am an unstoppable force of love in my life and in the world. I want to say that again. I am an unstoppable force of love in my life and in the world. Now, as we say this, we can catch what I would call the inspiration that is all around us. It can come through us. And we can move beyond what I would call the past limitations, the limited thinking, and become open to a new opportunity. That's a woo. We want to experience a whole new opportunity. Once again, what I'm saying is this is a time between worlds. It's an opportunity now for us to take a quantum leap from an old way of being to a new way of being. Now, this is not a linear thinking. We're not going to get there through the logical process of thinking like we normally do. This is a consciousness shift, and the mind is not going to get there. It's a heart shift as well. So the spiritual practice is simple. If we are experiencing a challenge, stop, take a breather, notice what's going on, acknowledge it, face it, feel it, in fact, embrace it, and just know, oh, this isn't anything to fear. This is a window of opportunity to make a shift. That's the reason why it's there. It's a miracle time. So in order to do this, we bring love to the moment. We're going to love ourselves, love this opportunity to make this shift. And as we relax and we open ourselves to love, we can just pray and affirm, I am an unstoppable force of love. But not only think it, we want to feel it and feel it in our entire body. And as we notice the shift in energy, we are not in control of what's happening because we're surrendering to love and we're letting it have its way. And as we move through this window of opportunity moment, this woo, just know that we are doing this for our well-being. But also, we are opening up a new pathway for other people as well. So what I am saying is I'm inviting us to do this together. We don't have to do this alone. This is a new day. We're not into this old paradigm with just John Wayne and whatnot. We just got to do it one particular kind of way, and it's up to us to do it ourselves. No, let's make this easy on ourselves. Let's say that you and I are soul Sangha. Together, we are creating a new world. Now, what I mean by Sangha? Well, a Sangha is a Buddhist term, and I've adopted it for us. And a Sangha is just a community of friends practicing spiritual principles of love. But not only that, they're doing it together in order to bring about and to maintain a new awareness. The essence of the Sangha is understanding, acceptance, and harmony of the love of life. So now Sangha is a way to be the salt of the earth together and to move forward together. So now let's support each other and support everyone to bring in a new world that's really ready to emerge. So what's going on? It's woo time. So I am saying to be aware that you are an invincible power of love. And so when you encounter something that's a challenge, when you encounter, so I would just say something that's difficult, when you encounter, you just said, oh Lord, look at all of the catastrophes that's going on in the world, I just want you to take a moment. See, this is a woo moment. And we together can experience a supportive energy, and we shift our consciousness. We shift our focus. And then we engage in our life. We engage with love. We send loving thoughts to whatever we're experiencing. We're sending loving thoughts to ourselves, and we engage in it in a new way. This, I would say, the challenge that is going on is not there to hold us down. Let's look at what's going on as a window of opportunity to love our way into to bring about the emergence of a new world. We do not know what it will look like, but we will be shown along the way as we step into each moment. Bring love. Bring your awareness. Shift the way that you've been thinking. Then act in a way that's in harmony, consistent with love. And as you do, it opens the way for others, but then others are doing the same. It's going to open the way for us. It is time for us to usher in this new world order. So what's going on? It's a new way of being, a new way of living. This is not the end. This is the beginning of a new way. And let's do it together. Please tune in to my wife, Lisa. She has a corresponding meditation that will support us in this new way of being. I call it a woo time. It's just a window of opportunity for us to be all that we're designed to be. God bless you.